Hi, I'm Spencer.
And I'm Ripley.
6 years ago, we tested this idea together with a playlist of 500 songs.
Now the playlist has grown, changed, and doubled in size, and I don't know all the tracks anymore.
Each episode, we listen to one or two, maybe even three, songs from the updated playlist.
To see what stories, memories, and emotions they unlock. Two friends.
One playlist. This is HeartATrack. All right. Well, good day. What's happening today, Ripley?
Not much. How about yourself?
Oh, had a few appointments I had to attend to earlier in the morning, and then I think we were gearing up for our Thanksgiving meal. So I know
yeah, you guys do that earlier than we do.
Yeah, that's this weekend for us. And
wow.
When is yours
Happy
again?
Thanksgiving.
Oh, thank you. Yours is in the same month as Christmas, isn't it? Or are they a month apart?
I think it's the 4th Thursday of November.
It's not
November. A date.
Okay. Oh, yeah, it's just, I know what you're saying. I don't know what the word for that would be, but either way. Cool. Well, then I'll say happy Thanksgiving to you in November.
I'd prefer you say happy birthday. Thanksgiving is the bane of my birthday's existence.
Oh, that's right, too. Okay. Well, and I can't forget your birthday because it's also my mother's birthday, so.
Fun fact, folks.
Pretty crazy. Yeah. Well, we've got two tracks to get into today. One is a pretty brief convo, I think, on my end, and the other's maybe a little larger. So, without further ado, you ready to see what we got?
Absolutely.
Well, once again, it is time for Respect the Classics, man. And I'm going to send you a song that I consider to be one of the most classic rock songs of all time. So let's toss on the Kinks' classic rock track, You Really Got Me.
You're listening to HeartATrack, and your host will be right back. Be right back.
So, of course, that was the Kinks. You Really Got Me. I imagine you've heard that several times in your life before.
Yep, this is the kind of mainstream mess I'm used to.
Mess, eh? Is that a good mess or a bad mess?
Oh, I just meant this is just the kind of mainstream music that I tend to be exposed to.
Gotcha.
Mostly it's something that pops up on the radio stations that I'll tend to listen to.
Yeah, gotcha. Well, here's what Rolling Stone magazine had to say about this track. Convinced that the band's previous two singles had flopped because they were too pristine, the Kinks went into the studio in the summer of '64 to record this deliberately raw rave-up written by Ray Davies on the piano in his parents' living room. But the only recording still felt too shiny, and the band had to borrow 200, I'm guessing that's pounds, to cover the cost of another session. 17-year-old guitarist Dave Davies took a razor to the speaker cone on his amp to get the desired dirty sound for that immortal blistering riff. The song came out of a working class environment, Dave recalled, people fighting for something. And that's the little brief write-up about that one. But that's what I love about it, is that, razory, sharp, almost dirty, sloppy sound to it. I really enjoy that about it.
Gotcha.
Well, the riff, like, if you're talking all-time classic rock guitar riffs, in my opinion, that's probably the most is the word monumental or the most influential, maybe, like any of that.
Iconic.
Yeah, all of those words, in my opinion. Because for me, in the mid to late 60s, or maybe early to mid, rather, you had three riffs that it was like you couldn't escape them. And one was this one, just the other ones being dun 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 dun. Like that was like so many songs had a variation of that. Or the other one would be it's like that surf rock, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, when I was constructing the Heart Attack playlist, there was all this decision making, obviously, I had to do a lot of, where I'm like, okay, out of those three songs being You Really Got Me by the Kinks, Louie Louie by the Kingsmen, which is the dun 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 da da dun dun dun, or Wipeout by the Surfaris, which one am I going to choose? Because I think all of three of those riffs are very influential and iconic and all that, but I didn't want to have all three of them in the Heart Attack list. So I thought, out of those three that I consider to be that, which one is the most? And I thought, well, only one of them is... oh no, Louie Louie is also on the top 1,000 of all time.
Okay, I was going to say, I probably would have picked Louie Louie. If it were I.
Oh, yeah? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, maybe we can toss that on your playlist out of those three then.
Oh, let's do it.
Yeah?
I love that song.
Just because we need to fill yours out a little more. So.
Right.
But that's cool to know. I didn't expect you to weigh in on an opinion on that, but that's really cool that you would have chosen that. So if you want to hear dun 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 dun, go over to Ripley's playlist. And if you want to hear dan-na-na-na-na, stick with my playlist. Which, I'm doing a small inside joke. I know Ripley likes when guitar riffs are spoken instead of sung or whatever, played, right?
Oh, yes, that and so many other, I call them deadpan onomatopoeias.
Yeah, right. That's so fun. I know a specific one, but don't worry, we'll get there in the future. If you're cool with saving that one until we get there.
Sure.
But anyways, a little style of our humor there. So yeah, that's just a song that I think without it, music wouldn't have progressed the way that it did. Even if some people go, it's repetitive, it's sloppy, it's maybe even a little annoying. I'm like, nah, I think it's so raw and fun. And then the subject matter, just, of course I've had the feeling of being so enthralled by a girl that I can't sleep at night. Absolutely. That's pretty basic, puberty. So that was this episode's Respect the Classics. And yeah, thanks for weighing in with another one of yours.
Sure.
Anything you have to say about that song specifically?
Oh, pretty much what you said is, yeah, I identify for sure. Not necessarily connected with puberty, but...
Right.
Yep, I have absolutely had my headspace far more filled than I would have liked it to have been by somebody who I was after or with or whatever.
Yeah. Well, there's several covers of this song, too. Van Halen covered that song. And
really?
So, yeah, I believe it's on their first album. Yeah. The first Van Halen album has a cover of that. And so did another one of my favorite groups that hasn't popped up on the show yet, but I'll name drop them anyway. Oingo Boingo.
Nice.
Also fronted by Danny Elfman. They on their first album as well. So it's kind of, that's what I mean. It's like it had these variations of like Van Halen did it, Oingo Boingo did it. There are tons of other people that have done it. I believe I've heard a version of it that's sung by a female. Therefore, it's "Boy, You Really Got Me" instead of "Girl, You Really Got Me." I'm like, that's cool. So maybe you'd relate to that one just a pinch more, but
I mean, yeah, for sure.
Whatever floats your boat. Yeah.
I just don't pay attention to pronouns in love songs, because I feel like most of them can go either way for either gender anyway.
That's very true. Yeah.
For the most part, if you're falling in love or you're stumbling over yourself for somebody, you can't sleep at night over somebody, we both get it.
Yeah. Well, that wraps up this week's Respect the Classics, and who knows when we'll get to another one. They're like a Jack in the Box that just pops up. Surprise. Super surprise style. So I have another song for us. So here's the Flaming Lips with a song titled Talkin' Bout the Smiling Deathporn Immortality Blues, and then in parentheses, Everyone Wants to Live Forever.
Boy, that's a mouthful.
That's the title of the song. Let's cue it up and we'll be back in another moment. Flaming Lips with Talkin' Bout the Smiling Deathporn Immortality Blues. Everyone Wants to Live Forever.
Whew. The title's longer than the song, isn't it?
Almost, yeah. Now, I was going to say Ripley made an audible, when the song started. So I was curious why you did that.
Well, initially it was because I couldn't tell if it was a vocalization or almost a dubstep-y sort of sound. And then sunk in that it was vocals.
Right.
And something that you know about me and that our listeners haven't heard me mention prior is bass singers make my eggs drop. It is what it is.
Ripley's a sucker for a deep voice. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes, that I am.
Which is why I should probably do the podcast more like this.
Oh, yes. Much better.
We'd have 0 listeners. It's like basically Pee Wee Herman.
So what do you think about this week's song?
I really like that one. Anyways.
Was that Pee Wee?
Sorry, I'm not trying to... Yeah, but he does both of those tones.
Okay.
1 minute it's kind of like this.
And the next it's like that.
Oh, anyway. You know what? I pegged number 1 as SpongeBob more than Pee Wee.
Well,
and then
yes.
It hit when you brought in the second version of it.
Well, SpongeBob's heavily, heavily inspired by Pee Wee Herman for sure. Anywhoozes, I just didn't want you to ovulate too much during the podcast, so...
got it.
But yes, that super deep, bellowy, ooh, wah, wah, ooh, wah, wah. That's what you're referring to, of course.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is cool. That's the kind of weird shit that the Flaming Lips do that I'm like, yeah, pretty sweet. I'm going to do you a favor and send you the lyrics right here as well so we can discuss those.
Alrighty. Yeah, it's got a real groove to it. Good vibes.
Yeah. I'm glad you liked it. I wasn't sure if you were going to care for this based on your opinion of the Weezer track from a couple weeks ago. Wasn't sure if they'd be in the same ballpark for you or not.
Now that I'm seeing the lyrics and how short they are, I can see how you might think that, because obviously they were repeated several times. Is that the case?
Yeah, a little bit of that.
But I couldn't hear... I have auditory processing dysfunction or whatever it is, where I really can't hear the lyrics of songs unless I already know them.
Yeah.
So I didn't notice quite how repetitive it was, but the vibe really made up for it. The instrumental.
Oh, that's good.
Absolutely
cool.
Carried the weight.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's the Flaming Lips. This is pretty early stuff of theirs too. This is from 1992, the album Oh, the album's got a long title as well, if I'm remembering it correctly. Hit to Death in the Future Head. I think that's what it's called.
What?
But yeah, lyrics like imagination, that's the way it seems. Man can't only live in his dreams. It seems so hard. If I'd lived 1,000 times before, and if I'm going to live anymore, always brings me down. Everyone wants to live forever, thinking that it'd be a lot better. That's the lyric that hits me the most is the chorus. Everyone wants to live forever, thinking that'd be a lot better. And that sends me to an existential place in my mind. I don't know if it does the same for you or not.
Sort of, but I would like to hear how you're interpreting that line.
Yeah, for me, I was going to say we have, but it's actually I have talked about a little bit of the concept of death on the podcast, like in episode 1 when I was with Marissa on that one with the Weekend song Phantom Regret, where it's Jim Carrey doing a poem. And I think that's the only other time I've touched on death, and I didn't say much else about it. But the concept of living forever, which is why I used the word like immortality, which is also in the title, and I also said eternalism, and we had mixed feelings about what that exactly meant, but I tried to clear it up over the week for Ripley. The concept of living forever, like that almost sends me into an anxiety attack, because I'm like, it's terrifying to think, what if that was possible somehow? And we all know, like, life can be pain, life can be extremely fun. It has its ups and downs. We'll just generalize by saying that. And the idea of never dying is very strange to me, but the contradictive part of my emotions that my biggest fear is dying. So it's like this conundrum of a song for me, the message of it.
Yeah, and see, I knew that about you, which is why I was curious as to how you were interpreting Everyone Wants to Live Forever, thinking that it'd be a lot better. I didn't know if you were interpreting it as Everyone Wants to Live Forever. I'm thinking that'd be better, or, you know, the way that it sounds like we both are interpreting it, which is they're wrong to think that, because it probably wouldn't be.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's why I'm calling it like a conundrum, if that makes sense. Do you kind of get why I'm using that word?
Yes, because your biggest fear being death, and yet the concept of immortality is scary to you as well. Yeah. So it's this very, like, uncomfortably itchy feeling, almost like to call back to the phantom regret thing. It's like a phantom feeling, like, you know, like a phantom limb or something. It's like a phantom emotion of like, ooh, I don't know which one I would choose. Like, if we lived in, you know, we do live in the future, in my opinion, but if we were even more further into the future, and say, you know, with the rise of AI and all this, if there was some kind of, I would use the word eternalism technology. I think that tracks. I think people understand what I mean. Something that could be implanted into your brain or your body, or something, if you had to take a pill or drink something that made you live forever, and there was no turning back. Like, once you took that or partook, you know what I'm saying? Once you committed to that, you can't die. And it's like, that thought is terrifying to me, of going, oh my gosh, you're at a fork in the road, and you go, do I live forever, or do I live until I die? And that's wild to me. Like, that's the kind of thought. Talk about, girl, you really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night. That thought would keep me up at night in the same way, or not the same way, a bad way. Yeah. Yes.
I'd rather be up at night thinking about a girl than thinking about, do I want to die or do I want to live forever? Like,
and you
do
don't
you know
think
those
that would
things
be an
online?
easy? You don't think that would be an easy decision for you?
No,
Really?
I really don't.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying conundrum and like absolute paradox. Now, if you were to factor in I don't like this word, and I think I've said that on the podcast before, religious, because I don't consider myself religious, but spiritual is in the ballpark. I'll accept that term. If I was to factor that in, there'd be aspects of my heart and my mind and even my soul that would go, well, you have to die. Otherwise, like, how else are you going to get to heaven? Like, that kind of thing.
Right.
Those thoughts live within me. And then the other is...
Which somewhere is
how
referenced
much...
as eternal life, correct?
Yeah.
So there you can have it both.
So. Yeah, thank you. That's actually kind of a comforting thought for me. The parallel to it that I was going to say real quickly was just that when I think about all the things that, and this is going to sound very like material girl, to quote Madonna, it's like there are material things that I really do like. I'd even say love, like things that I'm surrounded by even right this minute in my room, just stuff I collect or my records, my computer, different things. And I know that some people might come at me in any comments, and please do, because we want that engagement. They are just material things, but sometimes the idea of leaving all that behind feels like what a waste of energy I put into all that stuff. Like, I don't know. This is what I mean. It's a deeper, very deeper thought than I think we've even gone to yet on the show.
I see both sides of it in that, yeah, it's a little bit of a waste because you can't take it with you, as they say. But at the same time, you got to do something while you're here. It kills time. It makes you happy. If you've got to do something to brighten up your existence because it's not the best until you die, then, there collecting is a thing. That is nice.
Yeah. Well, and for me, my collections, whether that's movies, music, Marvel action figures, whatever. Again, I'm very white and nerdy. Those things, they're symbols to me of parts of my life or chapters of my life. And yeah, the idea of leaving them behind feels kind of sad, kind of painful. Because but yeah, where do you stand then on that lyric, the chorus? Everyone wants to live forever, thinking that it'd be a lot better. Tell me about your perspective.
Well, like I mentioned before, it seems like we're on the same page with that. The interpretation that they're wrong. It would not be better.
Yeah. For what reasons would it not be better, in your opinion?
Have you met Life? She's kind of a bitch.
Yeah.
There's a line in there, too, that I noticed, which was, no one ever... Oh, no. Now that I'm reading the lyrics that you sent me, it says, no one ever gets together. I thought, as I was listening to it, no one ever gets it together. And I thought that it was trying to say people want to live forever so they can finally reach, whatever goal they're going after.
Right.
I got news. It's not going to happen. Everybody says it's about the journey, but if you have these massive life goals, you're not really embracing that it's about the journey. Not to be a downer, have long since given up on all my life goals. I'm just along
that is a bit of a
for
downer,
the ride, man. It's just, after a certain number of failures, you learn to go with the flow and roll with the punches.
Yeah, I feel you there. I would categorize that feeling in my love life as opposed to my goals, per se, because... anybody who knows me really well, maybe yourself included, knows that I'm not a quitter. Like I'm the last person to go, all right, I guess we walk away from this then. I will fight for anything, a relationship, an idea, something to be completed, any of that. I go, No, don't give up on it. That's so unhealthy. And I'm not scolding you or saying that to you, just in general with anybody. I'm like, no. Give it all you got until you're bleeding on your lips and you've got black eyes and you're using a crutch, and go, okay, this thing kicked my ass, so I'm now going, it's not worth it. But that's just me. That's the way I handle things. Sounds like that's kind of maybe where you were coming from, though.
Pretty much. But also in such a way that I've been beaten down by a number of things, and every time it happens, it's something good does come out of it. Something my aunt used to always say is experience is what you get when you don't get what you want. So there's some value for every experience and every goal that you pursue, that you take that time and put that effort into. Even if you don't necessarily accomplish it, you are walking away with something. So it's not so much a place of negativity. It's just I'm coming from a place of living in the moment and being able to adapt and move on and leave things behind that aren't working for you, instead of clinging to them until you've got a crutch, a busted lip, a broken nose, whatever.
You can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you might find you get what you need.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And something I was going to say earlier that escaped me was that you were talking about the concept of material things and that leaving those things behind. Once again, I find myself sitting here in the middle of doing the podcast going, you know what? I bet that was a deeply subconscious reason that I went, why don't I record these episodes about these songs so that they can live forever as slices of my personality, to go, if anybody ever wants to get to know me even after I'm dead and gone, listen to this show. You know?
There you go. Yeah.
And hey, I'll promote something of theirs that I want for Christmas. They've got a graphic novel, a 420 page, I'm pretty sure that's a reference to one of their albums called Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots, and one of my favorite albums of all time, but they've made a graphic novel to go along with the story of the album, and that'll be available over the holiday season. So, hey, cool. Flaming Lips, if you guys hear this and you want to sponsor HeartATrack, because I freaking love you guys, then, yo, I'm promoting your book, so you're welcome. Yeah, one of the coolest bands of all time, in my personal opinion. So, on that topic of immortality or eternalism, whichever you decided to roll with, do you have a song as well?
Sure. I think I want to go back to Queen. I know I made a joke last week about I'm going to try really hard not to just gravitate towards the soundtrack of Highlander.
Right.
But
can I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah, did you start saying it there?
Yeah, I probably already spoiled it. They're so lit, but yeah, go ahead.
I was going to assume that it was Who Wants to Live Forever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a beautiful song.
On my side of the coin here, you find a conundrum in, would I want to live forever or would I want to die? And me, on the other hand, immortality is terrifying to me. No, thank you. I don't want to see how this turns out.
Yeah, this was on Greatest Hits of Queen that I had on a CD back in the day, and
I would often
I would often skip this one because it gave me such a heavy feeling that these days I like, but like as a teenager I was like, whoa, that's a little extreme for me,
I sang this at karaoke one time, and after I was finished, it's relatively quiet until you get to that point. Yep. And some dude came up to me after and he was like, man, you started deep. And I was like, I was just messing around, right. But thanks, I guess.
Yeah, it's a solid track. I teared up pretty damn good on the first chorus.
And I'll tell you, the line, "This world has only one sweet moment set aside for us," has gotten me through a breakup or two. Just that reminder that maybe nobody did anything wrong. Maybe it didn't fall apart because you messed up or they messed up.
Yeah.
It just, the moment was over. But remember how sweet it was.
For me, that line feels like it's about death.
Oh.
Referring to the sweet moment being the moment that you do die.
Huh. That's interesting.
I respect yours for sure. Not that it's wrong by any means. I would never say that. But for me, that just feels like he's referring to the sweet moment being, the moment of death. Yeah. I visualize.
Yeah, maybe when he's saying us, it's about humanity in general. Interesting. I have always heard it as almost a ballad to a lover, or to one's every past lover sort of situation. But
sure.
Wow. Yeah, you gave me a new way to think about it. I'm going to have to go back and listen to it later.
I was just going to say, to quote you from within the last 2 episodes, like in the eye of the beholder, that kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's beauty in this case. That's why I left that word out. But to each their own and all that stuff.
For sure.
But yeah, I guess we both gave each other a new perspective on it. I visualize a very elderly man in a hospital bed during that song, and he's reflecting on his life, and he knows that he's going to die any day, that kind of thing. And the song to me is like an acceptance of dying. That's kind of the feeling it gives me, and I think that's why it kind of gives me chills in a way that kind of scares me a bit, is because I haven't fully come to terms with the concept of dying. I'm not locked into that just yet. So, does it give you any visual when you listen to it?
Actually, I think of, and it might have been related to Highlander. I don't remember any of the show, actually. I remember There Can Be Only One. I remember something about a sword. I remember rooftops. I might recognize the actor if I looked him up. But I think, I don't know if it's influenced by it or not, but I visualize someone who is immortal, who has lost love, and is just agonizing over it.
Oh, wow,
Who wants to live forever when love must die? At some point, it just isn't worth it anymore when you have to lose, theoretically, a number of people that you love without finding that release yourself.
Yeah. And for me, that's exactly what the Flaming Lips one says to me, is like, everyone wants to live forever thinking it'd be a lot better. So you think it's a lot better to live continuously forever and ever and ever, and see people come and go, and you have to fall in love and lose somebody again and again and again and again for the rest of your life. It'd be like torture. Like
every fictional character in books, in media, in everything is always depicted as miserable because of their immortality and the love that they have repeatedly lost or once lost and gave up and never went back to.
Yeah, it's wild stuff to think about, for sure. The Flaming Lips one gives me a visual that's much more psychedelic due to the nature of the sound.
Fair enough.
That is,
and the album cover helps.
Like, oh yeah, for sure. Well, that's that you're looking at the Greatest Hits album cover. The Hit to Death in the Future Head is just a picture of a toilet with a polka dot seat.
Okay. Well, all right. Yeah.
But I get what you... Yes, the Greatest Hits Flaming Lips album cover.
A toilet seat.
Oh, why not?
I don't know. I don't want spots on my toilet seat. I just don't.
They're like blue and pink.
You know, I don't think I care. I think I don't want spots
Okay.
on my boots. Call me weird.
I was just assuring you
But
they're not brown or yellow, so it's whatever.
well, no, but polka dots are polka dots.
Yeah.
Spots are spots.
Well, we have yet to get to any polka on this show, but best believe there's going to be a lot.
Yep.
So the visual that comes into my POV when I listen to Everyone Wants to Live Forever by the Flaming Lips, or the other big long title if you want to go through all that again,
No need.
is it's a literal POV of me sitting in like a little homemade rocket ship, and I'm blasting into outer space. Because let's face it, if we were to live forever, I guarantee you we're going to get to outer space as a race. The human race will get there if we were to live forever. So
Sure, the
it's me
Earth
and this
is going to be a crispy critter soon enough.
yeah, thank you for the reference. If you know, you know. Happy birthday. So I visualize myself in this little rocket, like Jimmy Neutron style, and I'm just blasting ludicrous speed into outer space, like Spaceballs. And there's all these swirling psychedelic colors just flying past me. And again, as I've said, I don't do drugs. This is all in my head already. So it's like I'm just blasting into space and dealing with, well, if I've got to exist forever, I'm at least going to do things that are crazy, like shotgun blast myself all the way up to Saturn or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, that's just the visual the song gives me. Yeah. So thank you, Wayne, and the rest of the Flaming Lips crew for the trippy visuals that your music just gives me just by listening to it. Alrighty. Well, if you have any thoughts on the idea of living forever or the concept of death, if you want to get that deep with us, we'll be happy to revisit this topic in a future episode. And you can send any of those thoughts to Ripley. Hit 'em!
HeartATrackPodcast@gmail.com.
Wasn't that nice to listen to, everybody?
Quiet you.
I think so. What?
Nothing.
It just sounds like an actual ad when you do it.
Oh.
So we'd love to hear from you, and we'll visit some emails sooner or later. We just want to get a good pile of them started up so we can choose who, what, when, where, how, and why we reference those stories for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So, with all that being said, thanks for tuning in to another Heart Attack. Next week, that's what my brain is going, hey, dink, dink, dink. You gotta...
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. It's like,
it.
what's the next, what's the prompt?
Well, we've got 2 songs again next week.
Okay.
They, for me, like I say, this is always the most challenging part of the show, is not spoiling. Let's go with jealousy.
Okay.
Just the emotion of jealousy. Yeah. Jealousy as well as a little bit of arrogance. Yeah.
On your part or on
Jealousy.
the other, on the person you're jealous of's part?
On our part. So if it's our perspective, you yourself being jealous and arrogant. I'm admitting things already, but...
Yeah, I'm sitting here going, have I ever experienced those two things simultaneously?
Well, it's just for more clarity, it's not that they're simultaneous. One song is going to be jealousy, the other song is going to be a little bit of arrogance.
Okay, gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, separate topics. They each have their own song representing them.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and we will have our second repeat artist on the show. We've had 2 Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention songs. This time we will have our second appearance by an artist. Alrighty, well, we'll catch everybody next time, and until then, live life to the fullest.